Good morning and welcome to Living Local 15. I'm your host, Jessica Williams. It's Monday, so you already know it's time for some motivation. Here's the quote. Your Monday morning thoughts set the tone for your whole week. See yourself getting stronger and living a fulfilling, happier, and healthier life. Each Monday is a new opportunity to start again. And that saying, mind over matter, is oh so true because your thoughts influence your mind, your decisions, and how you execute your day. So make sure each morning you are starting it with something positive, like a prayer, meditation, or whatever you prefer. Setting a good mood each morning will hopefully keep you in a good mood all day. Now on to the show. We are kicking things off with Out of a Jam organization, which focuses on training and mentoring youth through culinary arts. Then we are Living Local in Columbia City and previewing some of what they have to offer. And later, it's Money Monday with Foster Financial, and we are learning more about what it takes to work with a financial advisor. That and more starting now.
Fashion, food, and fun. You're watching Living Local 15 with your host, Jessica Williams.
Out of a Jam is a nonprofit organization that develops culinary, vocational, and life skills of young adults through mentoring and compassion. And today, joining me is Paula Kaufman, their director. Good morning, Paula.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm great, thank you.
Good. Okay, so you started this organization 8 years ago, going strong and really just supporting the youth in our community. So give us an overview on why you decided to start Out of a Jam.
You know, Out of a Jam started because I was working at one of our local department stores and I saw young women specifically who had children, they were raising them on their own, they were really struggling, making minimum wage, and their life just didn't seem like it had a lot of hope to it. And I thought, you know, if I could teach them something, and my happy place is the kitchen, so that's why I decided to work in the culinary field. Oh,
wow. And so do you have a background in culinary arts?
No, actually I don't, and it's perfect for me to work with the young people because I'm probably more like them than anything. Struggled through high school and those kind of things, so you know, I try to go at a level and a pace that works for them.
Yeah, and so break down the program a bit. What do they learn when they interact with you?
Well, Out of a Jam has become a little bit more complex through the 8 years that we've been doing this, but we start with what we call our Essentials program, and that's where we get our kids serve-safe food handlers trained. We give them good basic culinary skills, knife skills, how to properly read a recipe, those kind of things. But the main thing we do during the Essentials program is to make sure that they understand that they have value and self-worth and that they are capable of doing so much in life.
Yes, that's great. So they get certified and all of that. And so what is the age range that this program caters to?
Right now our students are coming to us through the Crossing School and they range from 16 to 20. Okay. We have worked with older women, more in the 20 to 40 range. Our real goal is 3 words: feed, nourish, and transform. And we just want to do that through the entire community. And as we've grown, we've developed these different programs that touch other pockets other than just the young teenagers.
Right. So, so break down the other programs for us.
Well, the next program would be with our kids that come through our Essentials program. They're able to work on our food truck. We do a lot of beautiful high-end catering. We work with different businesses where we supply their lunchrooms or break rooms with everything from salads to protein bites. Then the next program we do was kind of an offshoot from COVID. We saw all this food being wasted. We knew that there were hungry people. So we have a program called Feeding Fort Wayne. Our students actually work in that and helps them understand community service and how important that is. We make high protein, low carb, loaded with vegetables, ready to eat meals that we freeze, and those go to other small food pantries. And then our most recent program is called Feeding Fort Wayne Kids, and it's an after-school program. You know, you just hate to think about kids falling through the cracks, and after-school programs are so needed, but they need to do more than just be in a babysitting situation. So we wanted them to learn about eating better, so some nutrition, some culinary skills, And as important as anything, being a help to their own family. Maybe it's a single mom, maybe it's a single dad, but these kids learn to, and they make a meal, they eat that meal, and they take those ingredients and the recipe home and make the same thing again at home that night or the next night.
Okay, and this is specifically the Feed Fort Wayne Kids
Feeding Fort
program.
Wayne Kids,
so
yes.
what age range can participate?
Those programs are from 8 to 13.
Okay.
And we're doing this at places like Bridget Grace, Yule Wilson Center, Boys and Girls Clubs. So where these kids are going after school, we're looking into those locations to really work with the ones that are already there. Give them something exciting to do.
So they can make the food, you say, eat it, and then take it home. That's so exciting.
Yeah,
that
they take a bag
process.
home of groceries and recipes, and whether they do it that night or the next night, they can show their family what they've learned. And it's proven that if kids are engaged in the process of choosing and preparing, they will eat the food.
Right.
I mean, they tell me, oh, I don't like this, I don't like that. But once they've made it, they're like, that's not that bad.
Right, right. They know where it came from. And so how long does the program last? So like when the teens are involved or when the kids are involved, how long is the program?
The Essentials program that we do with our teenagers is 8 weeks. And these kids get 3 high school credits at the Crossing School. Then we take them for a second 8 weeks where again, they get 3 more high school credits, and that is actually a paid position where we pay them to come and to learn for 3 hours a day, 3 days a week. And they help with the Feeding Fort Wayne program, they help with any kind of prepping that we're doing for catering, but it really puts them more into a job situation. The Feeding Fort Wayne Kids program is a 6-week program, and it's about 2 hours each day for 1 day a week for 6 weeks.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Yeah, and then you mentioned the food truck. So this happens over the summer, I'm assuming? Okay.
Yeah.
And so the kids work on that,
Yeah,
or the
for
teens?
sure. This last summer, I had a crew of 3 young boys that they prepped all the food, they make all the food, somebody takes them in the food truck, drops them at the Bar Street farmers market, and they serve it. They deal with the front of the house, the back of the house, so they're getting a lot of on-the-job experience, and they love it. Yeah.
That is so cool.
Yeah.
I love that because it's a different twist on just teaching youth young, and they will be prepared once they are able to, grow and get jobs and hopefully develop a passion for cooking.
Yeah, because if you learn young, it's something that'll stay with you forever. And the food truck is such a great experience because not only are they cooking the food, but they're also learning how to deal with customers and how to learn to deal with the stress of 6, 7, 8 people in line and, trying to push food out quickly. One of our claims to fame is in the food truck, we serve our sandwiches in 60 seconds or less.
Oh, wow.
Because I don't like to wait. I'm a little impatient.
That's so great. So if there are youth that want to get involved in your program, how do they go about doing so?
They go to Out of a Jam, Fort Wayne, all spelled out, .com. And there's requests on there. We're always looking to hire kids that really want to work, that want to be a part of learning. So they can go there and check us out. Volunteers, the same way. We always need volunteers, especially for the Feeding Fort Wayne and the Feeding Fort Wayne Kids, because that is all just very volunteer and donation driven.
Yes. All right. Well, thank you so much, Paula.
Hey,
I
you're
love
welcome.
learning about your business.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Yes, and if you would like more information about Out of a Jam, we'll have their website listed below, and we'll be right back. Today, we are living local in Columbia City. This small city became an official part of Indiana in 1888 and has grown to a population of around 10,000. With a commerce focus, the city is known for its high production of car parts, plastic, and especially blue jeans. Columbia City is regarded as an ideal place to raise a family for its family-focused events and educational value. It's recently been named one of the top 20 safest communities in Indiana. Popular attractions include golf courses, trails, and several parks with playgrounds and picnic areas. Columbia City also boasts a rich history and is often visited for the popular Whitley County Historical Museum, which is the former home of Thomas R. Marshall, who served under President Woodrow Wilson as the 28th Vice President. Near the heart of Columbia City lies the Whitley County Courthouse. This beautiful courthouse, built in the iconic Indiana limestone style, holds a clock bell which rings throughout the city at the beginning of each hour. All of this and more can be explored in Indiana's historic Columbia City.
Have an idea for the show? Want to find out how you can be a guest? Contact us at livinglocal15@wayne.com.
Wake up with us on Wayne 15's First News every weekday morning.
We'll bring you the local news you need to start your day.
Stay with CBS Mornings at 7 on Wayne 15.
We've got the overnight breaking news and in-depth reporting.
And uplifting stories to start your day off right.
Then at 9, watch Living Local 15 with Jessica Williams. Hey, Jessica.
We're talking food, fun, and everything going on in Northeast Indiana.
First News, CBS Mornings.
And then Living Local 15.
A great way to start your day.
Every day.
This segment sponsored by Foster Financial. Welcome back. It is time for another edition of Money Monday with Foster Financial. And joining me is their Vice President, Caleb Doan. Good morning.
Good morning.
How's it going?
It's going well. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. I'm like, wait a minute, it's a Monday.
Right, exactly.
Monday brain. So, Caleb, let's get started by talking about the benefits of having a financial advisor. I know that sometimes when people manage their own funds, they're like, oh, I have it taken care of. But really, they need someone to assist them. So kind of talk to me about that.
Yeah, absolutely. I think there are some people who do a really wonderful job of managing their own finances, and there are people who can do a great job at that over their entire retirement. But one of the situations that I see where it could be beneficial to establish a relationship with an advisor is when people are kind of in their mid or later years in retirement, and one of the spouses is the one who manages pretty much all of the finances. So maybe there's an example where there's a husband and a wife, they're 75 years old, and the husband has managed the finances for the last 50 years that they've been married.
Right.
And maybe he even manages his wife's IRA, his wife's Roth IRA, whatever it might be. And of course they work together well as a team. She manages other stuff, in their relationship. He might do a wonderful job managing their finances, and he might be doing great. But one of the things that we kind of take a look at is, if, heaven forbid, the husband were to pass away, would the wife be set up kind of in a situation where she would be able to be financially taken care of and be able to avoid some of those big mistakes that people can make when they become widowed. And so I know we've done a couple segments where we talk about when somebody becomes widowed, that's one of the biggest financial events in their entire life. Obviously, it's a massive personal event too, but there are some major financial decisions to make at that point. And if you don't have a relationship with a financial advisor, people can make a lot of mistakes there.
Yeah.
So I think it can be wise, even if, in that scenario, if the husband still manages his assets, it can be worth setting up a relationship with an advisor ahead of time when they're both alive. That way you have a trusted contact that can help out your spouse in the event that you were to pass away.
And I think the key that you said is in advance, ahead of time, because sometimes people wait until a tragedy happens, and there's so many things that has to be sorted out that may come last on the list, or it may feel overwhelming to them. But having those affairs in order in advance can actually help them have a smoother process. As you said, it's still a personal tragedy, but at least they can have some comfort in knowing that they know where their finances are going and what it's doing. And so what would be the best start time? Because we talk a lot about retirement age, but really you can get started on your financial planning quite early in life, right?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, you can get started very, very early. If you're somebody who really likes managing your own assets and you do it for kind of you and your spouse, that's a wonderful place to be. And if you establish a relationship with a financial advisor, you don't necessarily have to have the financial advisor manage everything. It could just be a portion of your investments where you just want to start that relationship with the advisor. and have somebody that knows about all of the finances that can help your spouse in the event that you were to pass away. So the earlier that you can establish that relationship, oftentimes the more trust that you're able to establish with them, you're able to get a little bit more comfortable with having a financial advisor. And then that way you have a lot of time to plan for some of those kind of contingency scenarios. Because as soon as somebody passes away, there are just a significant amount of decisions to make. There are different annuities or 401ks or IRAs, and you have to decide, okay, do I want to take this as an inherited account? Do I want to cash out this entire account?
Right.
And different decisions can have massive tax implications on people. And especially if you're a widow, then all of a sudden you're filing as a single tax filer, your tax brackets can go through the roof. And so making a plan for that stuff ahead of time can really save people in the long run.
Yeah, and speaking of the tax side of things, let's clarify the difference between a financial advisor and a CPA, because sometimes I think those two can be conflated in a sense. So do you all assist on that tax side, or would that be a separate service when it does come to filing the taxes after retirement or during a loss?
Yeah. So we don't file taxes for our clients. We do tax strategizing with our clients, and we'll communicate with their CPAs. We have a lot of CPAs that we work with, and we have kind of open communication with them where there's different tax strategies that we do for the clients, whether it's Roth conversions or qualified charitable distributions or donation strategies. All of these things to try to help the clients save money over the long run in retirement. And we'll communicate with their CPA and say, hey, here's our strategy. This is what we're doing for 2024. Just want to give you a heads up on this. So we kind of like to play that quarterback role where we're communicating with their CPA, communicating with their attorney, their health insurance agent, whatever it might be, just in order to serve the client the best.
Okay. And can you give us a little bit of background as to what a person would need to provide when they do talk to a financial advisor? Because it may feel like, oh my goodness, is this going to be an overwhelming conversation? Do I have to go back and bring all my statements in and know all of my accounts? What does that really look like?
Yeah, so when people come in for a first appointment, we send them a list of documents that could be helpful to bring. And basically, the more stuff you bring, I guess the more specific of a conversation that we can have, right? When we're able to see maybe exactly how the 401k is invested or see what your taxes turned out for last year, we're just able to answer questions a little bit more specifically. But we have plenty of people that come in with not a lot to the first appointment, and they just say, hey, I don't even know where to pull my statement. And that's where we can help them in the financial planning process, help them pull their statements. We'll call on their accounts with the client and make it a really easy process. So don't feel like you have to be an expert to come in. Sometimes you don't know what you don't know before you come in the door, and that's where we can really help people.
Okay, awesome. And the biggest takeaway is even if you do your own finances, still get a financial advisor.
Yeah, it can certainly be helpful.
Yeah, all right. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
And Foster Financial is dedicated to helping women plan for retirement. So we will have their phone number listed below, and I'll see you after the break. This segment sponsored by Foster Financial.
Follow us on social media at Living Local 15.
There's a lot of buzz surrounding the 96th Annual Academy Awards, as nominations were recently announced. As usual, there are some big snubs and big surprises. Let's see some of the top Oscar nominees. Danya Backus reports from Los Angeles.
Congratulations to this year's nominees.
Actors Jack Quaid and Zazie Beetz announced the nominations Tuesday, and Christopher Nolan's Oppenheimer led the pack with 13, including Best Picture and Best Director.
Why are these men looking at me?
The other half of the Barbenheimer phenomenon, Barbie, racked up 8 nominations, including Best Picture and a surprise Best Supporting Actress nod for America Ferrera. But filmmaker Greta Gerwig and star Margot Robbie were left out of the Best Director and Best Actress categories. Also competing for Best Picture are American Fiction, Anatomy of a Fall, The Holdovers, Killers of the Flower Moon, Maestro, Past Lives, Poor Things, and The Zone of Interest. For Best Director, Nolan will face off against Martin Scorsese for Killers of the Flower Moon, along with the directors of Anatomy of a Fall, Poor Things, and The Zone of Interest. I need you here. Lily Gladstone made history with her Best Actress nomination for her role in Killers of the Flower Moon.
She becomes the first Native American woman to ever be nominated in this category.
She'll compete against Annette Bening for Nyad, Sandra Hoolier in Anatomy of a Fall, Carey Mulligan in Maestro, and Emma Stone in Poor Things.
You got nice color scheme.
But Gladstone's co-star Leonardo DiCaprio didn't make the cut in the Best Actor category. Instead, the nominations went to Bradley Cooper for Maestro, Coleman Domingo for Rustin, Paul Giamatti for The Holdovers, Oppenheimer's Cillian Murphy, and Jeffrey Wright in American Fiction. Danya Backus, CBS News, Los Angeles.
Living Local 15, proudly driven by the Kelly Automotive Group.
Do you want to know the best places to go to eat and drink around Northeast Indiana? Well, join me, Jessica Williams, for Living Local 15, weekdays at 9 a.m. as I take you inside of the best restaurants, new and old, explore their menu, and of course, mix up some cocktails. Where will I go next? Well, you'll have to watch and see, but I want to know, where do you recommend I go?
Keep up with Jessica Williams on Living Local 15, weekdays at 9.
Thank you so much for tuning in on this Monday. I hope you enjoyed the show. And remember, you can always catch up on episodes or segments of Living Local 15 by going to WANE.com, downloading the WANE app, and of course, checking us out on YouTube. And I'll leave you with this. Your Monday morning thoughts set the tone for your whole week. So see yourself getting stronger and living a fulfilling, happier, and healthier life. And I look forward to seeing you here tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Go to the Living Local 15 page on WANE.com for recipes from the show, to watch a segment again, and to get information on products and services featured on Living Local 15. Content segments during today's Living Local 15 were paid for by these sponsors.